Bobby and I were playing around, and I took Zoom out and then I reloaded it. And since reloading it and updating my operating system, I'm getting all sorts of issues. Anyway, Arthur, you are on live stream, so I invite everyone to mute themselves, and we'll hand over to Arthur.
Maybe I should do the same. Um, Boker Tov, everyone, and welcome to our morning Mnyan at Temple Sholom in Vancouver. We start on page 30 of Mishkan Tefillah, or page 4 of the brochure that we have. Moto lecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Moto lecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael. Vani berov chastecha vobitecha, yeshtakavecha echal kodshecha b'yiratecha. Adonai ohavti miyom betecha, u'makom mishkan kevodecha. Vani yeshtachave v'yakra, ebrecha lifnei Adonai osi. Vani tefilati lecha Adonai yitrotzon, Elohim berov chasdecha, Aneni be'emet yishecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yatzar et adam b'chachma, u'varavo nekavim nekavim, chalulim chalulim. Galui v'yadua lifnei chisei kavodecha, שאם יפותח אחד מהם, או יסותם אחד מהם, אי אפשר להתקיים ולעמוד לפניך. ברוך אתה אדוני, רופא כל בשר ומפליא לעשות. אלוהי נשמה שנתת בי טהורה היא, אתה בראת, אתה יצרת, אתה נפחת בי. ואתה משמרה בקרבי כל זמן שהנשמה בקרבי. מודה אני לפניך, אדוני אלוהי ואלוהי אבותיי ואמותיי, ריבון כל המעשים, אדון כל הנשמות. ברוך אתה אדוני, אשר בידו נפש כל חי, ורוח כל בשר איש. And we rise for the morning blessings, our morning miracles, as we bless them individually. Page 7 or 36. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan nesach vivina lahavchin ben yom uven laila. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kafufim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, roka haaretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, amichin matzadi gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten layoyef koach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavir sheina me'inai utama me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shesani b'tzelem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shesani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shesani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael betifara. Please be seated as we continue on page 42 or 30. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. V'harevna Adonai Eloheinu et divrei Toratcha b'finu, u'v'fi amcha beit Yisrael. V'niyeh anachnu v'tze'etze'enu, v'tze'etzei amcha beit Yisrael. Kulanu yadei shemecha, v'lomdei Toratecha lishma. Baruch atah Adonai, hamlamei Torah, Li'amo Yisrael. Elu devorim she'en lohem shiur, she'adam mochel perotehem be'olam hazeh, v'hakeren kayemet lo li'olam haba, v'elu he kibud avayim, u'gemilut chasadim, v'hashkamat beit hamidrash shakarit v'yarvit, v'haknosat orchim, u'vikur cholim, והכנסת כלה, ולוויית המת, וביון תפילה, ואהבת שלום בין אדם לחברו, ותלמוד תורה כנגד כולו. And so having studied Mishnah, we now turn to page 46, page 12, Kaddish, the Rabbanan, the Kaddish in which we praise our teachers, their students, and those who preceded us and taught us. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael, v'hagala v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach le'olam l'olmei olmaya, yitborach v'yishtabach v'yitpoar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal, shemei kudesha b'richu, La'elah min kol birchata b'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Al Yisrael, v'al Rabbanan v'al Talmidei Hon, v'al kol Talmidei Hon, v'al kol manda askin v'araita, divyatra hadain v'divachol atar v'atar. Yehei lahon ulchon shalom rabba, china v'chista v'rachamin, v'chayin arichin mezonei revichei ufarkana, min kedamu v'hondi v'shamaya v'yara, v'imru amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shamaya, v'chaim tovim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, u'barachamav ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, v'imru amen. And please remain standing as we continue with Pesukei de Zimra, verses of praise. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam baruch hu, baruch oseh v'reishit, baruch omer v'yoseh, baruch ozer u'mkayim, baruch merachem al ha'aretz, baruch merachem al ha'briot, baruch meshalem tzachar tov l'reyav, baruch chai levad v'kayim lanetzach, baruch podeh matzil, baruch shemo, Bishvachot v'izmerot legedelcha and shbehacha and foercha, v'nazkir shimcha v'namlicha kol malkeinu Eloheinu, Yachid cheho alamim, melech meshubach v'for adei ad shemo hagadol, Baruch atah Adonai, melech muhulal batishbachot. And we mark the interval between introduction and call to worship with Hatzi Kaddish on page 57 or 20. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divarach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, u'v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael, Bagala, u'v'hizman kariv, v'yimaru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach, Le'olam l'olmei olmaya, Yitborach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpoar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitaleh, v'yithalal, shemei kudesha b'richu, le'elah min kol birchata b'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran b'yalma, v'yimaru amen. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam voed. Please be seated as we continue silently on page 60 or 22. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam v'zolot. Or chadash al Tzion ta'ir v'nizkechu lanu mehera le'yoro. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer hamiyorot. Ahava rabat Adonai. V'yireinu b'toratecha v'damim. V'haviyenu l'shalom me'arbat hanfot ha'aretz v'tolichenu kumiyot li'artzenu. Ki el poel Yeshua tata, uvanu b'charta v'keraftanu l'shimcha hagadol sela b'yamet, l'hodot l'chol yachedcha b'yava, baruch atah Adonai, הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהים, אדוני ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך. ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשפתך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ויאמרת עליהם, ויעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו הציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת. והיה לכם לציצית, וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם. ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. תהילות לאל עליון ברוך הוא ומבורך, משה ומירים ובני ישראל, לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה ויאמרו כולם, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושה פלא, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. שירה חדשה שיפחו גאולים, לשמחה שפת הים. יחד כולם הודו והמליכו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך, אדוני ימלוך, לעולם ועד. צור ישראל, קומה בעזרת ישראל, ופדה חינומך יהודה וישראל, גואלי צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל. ברוך אתה אדוני, גואל ישראל. So we come to the Amidah, the central core of our prayers, starting on page 76 and 31, introduced on the previous page, or 74. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, sifatai tiftach, ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. Hoel Hagadol, Hagibor Vahanora, Hail El Gomel Chasodim Tovim Vekone Hakol, Vizocher Chaste Avot Veimahot, Umevigula Livne Venehem, Lemahan Shemo Biava, Melech Ozer Umoshiach Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Yezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechaye Meitim atah Rav Lehoshia, Morit atah. Mechalkel Chaim b'Chesed, Mechaye Meitim b'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim b'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Baal Gevuro, Umido Melech, Melech memit umechayeh, umatmiach Yeshuo, v'nemonatol achayot meitim, Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hametim. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקורא זה אל זה, ויאמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך על הארץ כבודו. ליומתם ברוך יאמרו, Baruch kavod Adonai mimakomo, uvedivrei kodecha katuv lemor. Yimloch Adonai leolam, Eloha yichtzion, ledor vodor, ledor vodor nagid godlecha, ulenetzach netzachim kedushatecha nakdish, v'shivacha Eloheinu mipinu lo yamush leolam voed. Baruch atah Adonai, Hoel HaKadosh. And please be seated when you've completed the silent Amida. Shalom bimromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Ve'imaru. Amen. Unfortunately, there are numbers of people who really need blessings for healing. And so let's turn to the place on page 109 or page 45 where the blessing is printed. I'll pause during the middle of it so that you can insert names. Mishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah v'Yivorech et HaCholim.
Ralph Sauer,
Sheila Smith, Pauline Babbins, Faye Reback, Ghana Vatsara. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yamalei Rachamim Aleichem, Lahachalimam Rapotam Lahachazikam, Vayishlach Lahem Mehera Rafua, Rafua Shalema Min HaShamayim, Rafuat HaNefesh V'Rafuat HaGuf, Hashtov Agolav Bizman Kariv Nomar. Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are ill. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. And we include in our thoughts and prayers those who suffer from chronic illness and pain. May God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. And unfortunately also, we still need to say prayers for the return of the captives and for our soldiers who are fighting. Mishaberach Avotenu Imotenu Avraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov, Sarah Rivka Leah v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, send complete rescue and full redemption to all those held captive. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers that they be protected from all harm. May the Blessed Holy One shower compassion over them and deliver them from darkness and strife, remove their bondage, deliver them from their afflictions, and return them speedily to their families. Amen. And Mishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu, bless and safeguard our loved ones who have been called to defend and protect our homeland from those who would in hate destroy us. Shield our soldiers from physical harm and psychological trauma as they face the intransigent enemy, and guide their actions always in the ways of justice. In the chaos of battle, grant them the wisdom to discern friend from foe, the strength to destroy where they must, and the heart to show mercy where mercy is appropriate. Above all, let their service be brief. Return them to us speedily, so we may care for them as they have cared for us. And let peace be upon us and all nations. And let us all say, Amen. The Sedra, the portion this week, Shoftim, is a very powerful one, as you all know. It has many, many lessons in it. We talked about some of them on Monday. Justice, justice shall you pursue is the words that are so famous and appropriate. But there's other impacts from this one as well. And I'd like to do one that calls Overcoming the Better Than Average Effect, which comes from ACE and is written by Rabbi Dr. Mordechai Schiffman. This is what he writes. How would you rate your driving ability in comparison to everybody else? What about your intelligence, memory, popularity, honesty, personality? Research on the better than average effect demonstrates that most people rate themselves as being higher than average across a wide range of skills, intelligence, and personality characteristics, including the ones that I mentioned earlier. Even though it is statistically impossible for a majority of people to be above average in any particular area. The theory behind these findings is that most of us have a self-enhancement bias, meaning we're prone to interpret the world in a way that makes us feel better about ourselves, even if it is not true. We even have a bias that assumes that we are less biased than the average person. While discussing related concepts in his book, The Happiness Hypothesis, social psychologist Jonathan Haidt uses a metaphor of what he calls the inner lawyer to describe these tendencies. It is like we have an attorney inside our heads whose job it is to always defend ourselves against any possibility of fault. In the Jewish spiritual ethical literature, we're called upon to overcome these biased tendencies as they are detrimental to the trait of humility, and they disregard the values of truth and honesty. They can also negatively impact our relationship with others, and certainly with God. In the beginning of this week's Torah portion, Moses outlines a robust system of governance to ensure justice. You shall set up judges and law enforcement officials for yourselves in all your cities, and they shall judge the people with righteous judgment, he says. Some commentators notice a superfluous word in the verse. It could have just stated to set up judges and officials in all your cities, but instead it adds the words lecha in Hebrew, yourself. What added meaning can be deduced from emphasizing that the judges and officials are for yourself? Rabbi Moshe Feinstein suggests that the for yourself transforms the message from being one exclusively about governance and community to a personalized message about the inner life of each individual. We're all called upon to be our own inner judge, to ensure that our actions are proper. We should also be our own law enforcement official to make sure that we follow through on the proper course of action. The subsequent commands that seem to be speaking directly to judges now would apply to all of us personally when judging ourselves. We should, quote, not judge unfairly, show favoritism, or take a bribe, according to the words of Torah, in the evaluation of our own selves. In a direct reversal of the self-enhancement bias and the above-average effect, Rabbi Feinstein suggests that even if we are in reality a Torah scholar or a righteous person, we should not assume that what we are doing is virtuous. Rather, we should view ourselves as a simple and average person and judge ourselves accordingly. Our inner lawyer can be very good at his or her job, effectively justifying our self-enhanced beliefs, defending us against seeing our faults, and making us seem better to ourselves than we are in reality. We're called on to counterbalance the defense attorney with a fair, righteous, and honest judge who can help us ground our beliefs about ourselves in truth and reality. Doing so will help us stay appropriately self-aware, allowing us to improve and grow and become more righteous individuals. The words of Rabbi Schiffman.
Thank
I
you,
always
Arthur.
love this averaging. They used to use it all the time in bargaining.
I find it interesting, Arthur,
the tikkun that I study from. It's an Orthodox tikkun that I read Torah from. It translates, instead of justice shall you pursue, it translates it as righteousness shall you pursue, which I hadn't seen that before.
Quite different.
Yeah. Well, I guess that like the term tzedakah,
Yes.
there are nuances, right?
Well, maybe we should be translating tzaddik, where the words are used. Maybe we should be translating one as righteousness and the other as justice. Maybe that's why it's been repeated.
I don't know. But
interesting. Very interesting concept.
It's interesting because we do often talk about the translation of tzedakah, right? And what actually does that mean in our vernacular, and I just found it interesting to see the different.
One of the lessons that I learned many years ago from our rabbis is that it does not mean charity.
Yes. Yeah.
It means obligation.
Obligation, or or an element of justice, or yeah.
Yeah, well, pursuing righteousness is designed to achieve justice.
Yes. Yeah.
Having justice may preserve righteousness. Who knows? Yeah. Thank you, Bobby. It's good to see you guys. It's nice to have you with us this morning. Nice to see two of you up in your cabins in the interior of British Columbia or up at the coast. And it's lovely to see that kind of use of wood, as well as smiling faces in the sun. Let's continue now with Aleinu on page 586 or page 47. עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים, לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגבכי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אינו. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו So we come to the portion of our service of remembering those who have passed away, those who have been our friends, our teachers, our guides, our family, those who have died in the last Shiva or Shloshim, the last 7 or 30 days, Penelope Brani, Cyril Heitner, Lucy Laufer, Ann Smith, and we add the name today of Jonathan Mann, the son of Rob and Sippy.
I also like to add Richard Zukernick.
Thank you.
And Randall Malmstrom, who passed away 2 days ago.
Okay. I'm not sure you're aware, Gordon, of Benjamin Meisner's death. Cantor at Holy Blossom.
No, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. He died, and it's now over a month. His name was on our list. It's not anymore. Yeah. There's also, we remember those who have died at this time in years past. Whose yard sites are being marked this week. Zelda Abelson, Rose Afriat, Engelbert Joseph Bond, Leon Ben Zakayan, Albert Burns, Lily Brownstein, Merwin Cherkover, Celia Cherry, Gordon's grandmother, Jack Chochinov, Stella Cohen, Jack Korber, Amelia Devlin, Paul Goldberg, Fanny Groper, David Huberman, past president of our congregation, Maury Huberman, Francis Huberman, Brian Konevsky, Minnie Karlinski, Selena Lieberman, Hannah Lipman, Robert Mahler, Harry Matus, Roberta Michelson, Rose Nittickman, Irving Ozier, Benjamin Platel, Lionel Peteshin, Maxwell Rappaport, Lillian Roberts, Ida Benenson Ruskin, Pearl Samberg, Melva Siegel, Frida Silver, Morris J. Silverman, Eva Snyder, Sidney Stern, Win Wilmot, Hyman Ziff. And we also remember those who have died in the year and whose yard sites and whose Kaddish is being said for the year, including, of course, Leo Levine. Now let us all rise together, supporting those who are standing, with praising God with the words of Kaddish Yatom on page 598 or 49. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yomad yivarach Yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon u'v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach li'olam u'l'olmei olmaya, Yitborach v'yishtabach v'yitpoar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal, shemei l'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata b'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, v'amiran b'yalma v'imru Amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, v'ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'al kol Yoshvei Tevel, v'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all those who mourn, to all Israel, indeed to all the world, and let us say, Amen. Boker Tov, everyone. Enjoy the day, the weather staying beautiful.